Okay, next is group-based privileges. All right, so as I mentioned, we want to assign privileges to groups versus individual users. All right, so access management becomes very difficult at any type of scale if we're doing things individually, user by user by user. All right, so if Sally is now in this department, but next time she needs access to this share and that share because she's changed jobs, now we have to go in and manually assign permissions to her, and also remember to remove permissions from other things that she had. That can become very problematic because, again, remember, we're not just assigning it at the user, we're assigning it at the resource. So if we predefine those by groups, we can just simply pop users in and out of the groups and they'll have access to everything that they need. All right, so users will gain or lose permissions automatically based upon their group membership. So if they're in the HR group, we've already predefined all the resources that HR needs to access, right? All the files and folders, printers, and so forth. When it comes time for Sally to join the HR group, we simply drop her into that folder, or that group rather, and she has access to all those folders and all those resources. If she then leaves and goes over to finance or accounting, as we remove her, she loses those rights and gains the rights from the new location. We also want to make sure that we avoid explicitly denying permissions when possible. It makes troubleshooting very difficult. So if we have a user that has permissions, they may be a member of 15 different groups that all give them permissions, read, write, maybe even full control to a resource, but yet we have explicitly deny somewhere in that tree, right? Somewhere in that resultant set of policies or resultant set of permissions, and we say deny. Well, we're looking at the group memberships. Well, wait a minute, it says full control here, it says read right here. She has access across the board. She should have access to that. It takes a while for us to troubleshoot and to find out, oh, here it is. There's an explicit deny sitting here. Well, I'll take that one user and now times it by 5, 10, 50,000, right? Just depending upon the size of your organization. And you can see very quickly how that becomes unmanageable. So we want to avoid explicitly denying when possible. And then for additional flexibility, we can also nest groups within each other. So we may, for instance, have a color printer or a folder or whatever the resource might be that, let's say, for instance, HR needs access to. Well, we can assign that resource to the HR group. But we also know that accounting, finance, maybe some of the managers, maybe some executives also need access to that. Well, they have their own individual groups as well. Well, that rather than trying to, again, manage at the user, we can just take the groups that they're all members of and drop them into that larger group, right? So we can nest the groups for added flexibility.